Hey everyone, it's Ellie Mae with Silhouette Secrets Plus, and today I wanted to share how you can sketch by color with your Silhouette machine. So I'm using the new Silhouette Cameo 5, and I opened this design. You can see it doesn't have color when it comes in, but that is not a problem. I'm going to ungroup the file, and then I'm going to select the pieces, and I'm going to change the fill color and the line color using the quick access toolbar in the top left. And then I'm going to continue to select the parts for the design. So I grouped those two pieces together, and then I filled it with a color, and I changed the line color to the same fill color. And then I'm going to continue selecting the design. Now I'm setting the fill and the line color according to the colors I'm going to be sketching with. I'm going to continue to grab these pieces. I grabbed of and filled that with black, and then I'm going to group that with the top black. Now you don't technically need to group them, but it helps to keep everything in alignment and not moving. So last piece here, I am setting up the gray lines, and then I am going to group those together. And then what the next step I want to do before when you're sketching, I'm going to draw a little dot in the bottom corner away from my design, and that is going to be the last point that the pen does. I'm using the Artesprix sublimation markers, so I'm going to flip my design and use the mirror of the design because it is a sublimation sketch, and it will be then heat pressed onto my blank. So I dragged the red color, which is the circle in the bottom left corner, and I unchecked the colors that I didn't want to use. Then I'm going to place my sheet of copy paper on my mat. I'm going to test my markers with Artesprix markers. You want to let them stand upright for about 20 minutes before you get going so the ink is flowing. And then I'm loading this in the new Cameo 5. I go back to the Silhouette software, and I can send the gray, and then it's going to do the red circle in the bottom left. That's going to be the final touch point where any ink would pool from my marker. And do not unload your mat, so your placement is going to be where it should. I'm going to uncheck gray and check the green color, and then I'm going to send the green to do the sketching. Now, in general, you could also fill, my cat is very interested in this project. You could also fill in a sketch using the line effects. I'll put a link in the description below to that. With the sublimation markers, I don't want too much ink, so I'm going to hand color those in, and it gives it a unique look. So now I am on to my third color. I'm using the end of the pen holder cap to place the pen in the distance. I'm going to check black and check red. It's going to finish out my drawing, and then it's going to do that final touch down in the bottom left corner. So then I have this design. Cap your pens as soon as you're done with them, and then I just took a few minutes and had a little bit of fun coloring this in. Make sure to check out the Artesprix YouTube channel as well, where you can see this full video tutorial that I did for them for these shirts. It's going to end up, surprise, it's going to be a couple of shirts that I created for Halloween for my daughter and I. So then I'm on to my second design for my daughter, and I'm going to choose this little monster design. And it comes in the same way. It doesn't have a fill color. That's not a problem. I'm going to center that to my page. Going to right click on it and choose ungroup, and I can come in here and I can select the pieces. I'm going to fill that with green and the line color to green, and then I'm going to group those. Then I'm going to select the sides of that design, change that to gray fill and line color, and the little monster. And then what you'll see here, red and red line color, is one letter was not grouped together with the rest. So I'm simply going to fill that with the red color, and then I'm going to group it to the rest of the red design. And I'm going to draw that little tiny circle in the bottom left corner for that pen to touch down at the end. And this time I changed it to a different color because I have red in my design. So I'm going to right click, flip that because I'm using the sublimation markers. Then I'm going to do the same process on the cut by line color. I am going to drag the blue to the very bottom. I want it to do that at the very end, so it goes in order. And I'm going to uncheck gray, uncheck green, and I'm going to send the red color to sketch first. And then I'm going to set up my markers again. I'm testing it in the top right. I can go ahead and cut that off the design before I press it onto my blank afterwards for the sublimation. Back into the software, I'm going to verify my settings that it's set for red and send that to sketch. So it's going to sketch out all of the little red parts. I love watching the machine just work and do its thing when it's sketching out, to see it appear on your piece of paper. Now, Artesprix sublimation markers can be used with just regular ordinary copy paper. So now I'm going to set up this second pen. This is the gray, and set that pen height using the cap, and then I unchecked red and I checked gray, keeping the blue circle so that my pen will touch down in the bottom left corner. Last marker, I'm going to add the green and uncheck gray and check the green and send this to sketch as well. And then my design will be complete. And it didn't take very long at all to set this up to sketch and color. Now I do have a little drag mark at the top there. That's okay, I'll just cut that off for this design. And then I just had some fun coloring it in. I'm an outline coloring person, so I like to outline everything before I fill that in. And I find these Artesprix sublimation markers and the supplies just so much fun to play around with. And I just continued to fill that in how I wanted it. Now let it dry before you go to press that, and there's the finished designs there before I am ready to press, but make sure your ink is completely dry. And here is a look at the finished product. Make sure to check out the Artesprix YouTube channel for a tutorial. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.